Welcome back, Sharkings. Today we're going to do something different. We're going to be looking at when the side content steals the show. Have you ever played a video game that was sort of mid, but then you get to that one mission and you're like, wow, why isn't the whole game like this? This doesn't happen very often. Sure, every game has its standout mission that's memorable, but some games switch things up so much that it almost becomes an entirely different game. They take a risk outside the norm and are rewarded, maybe too much, to a point where the risk overshadows the main offering. Now, because we have to talk about why this section was so good, there will be some spoilers. So if you haven't played these, you've been warned. But if you beat them already, you'll love looking back, like a highlight reel. If you're enjoying the premise of this concept and want to see more videos like this, drop a like and maybe we'll do more in the future. So let's jump right in. Let's start things off with the most unexpected crossover since Final Fantasy showed up in Assassin's Creed.
And so, with renewed focus, I must extend the draft to paradise.
Far Cry 6. Now, if you've been a fan of this channel for a while, you know how much I don't like bloated games. Games that confuse content with chores. 40 to 100 hour games that are basically checklists of go here, kill that objectives. And let's be real, no one has mastered that art of open world fatigue quite like Ubisoft. So since this video is all about the unexpected, we're going to start by doing something very unexpected, saying something nice about a Far Cry game past a third one. Now, Far Cry 6 is your usual chaos and chore simulator. Huge open maps, explosions, and taken over outposts. But you might be wondering, why did you even play this game if you hate it so much? Well, because of one DLC mission that stole the show. The Vanishing. The Vanishing is a Stranger Things crossover. Wait, why have we never gotten a Stranger Things game? Flamethrowers, monsters, and the Upside Down? Come on, the lore is so good. You're asked to go investigate a bunker. The first thing that's off is Russian letters on the wall. You find some soldiers down with claw marks. And suddenly this game slowly shifts genres into horror. But not just any horror, 80s horror. The Stranger Things logo comes on the screen with that iconic, appreciated soundtrack. The game starts and then you realize your weapons are gone. All you have is a pistol and a knife. So already the Far Cry formula has left the chat. Stealth is the only option. You start reading notes and hunting down Russian soldiers. And now there's talk about telepathic powers and teleportation tech and the shadow place? Wait a minute. You're sneaking through dimly lit corridors, hiding from threats, and basically feel like you're in an entirely different video game. It is eerie, slow, and very memorable. It feels like a secret horror game hidden deep in the jungles of a Far Cry game. As you go through the bunker, you finally get to the portals. The exact same layout where the cliffhanger happened after Hopper disappeared. It looks just like the show. You get to explore it. You find a way to turn it on, and the gate is finally open. You enter, and there's those iconic floating particles. You're officially in the Upside Down. I think this is the first time in a video game. You have to correct me on that. I know there was a mobile game that I played, but this was the first for me at least. Anyways, you make it to the Upside Down and you're back at the lab and the portal. But now, everything looks very upside down-ish. This is where the side mission takes over. Up to this point, the minimal weapons, the mandatory stealth set it apart from the Far Cry experience. But now, the look of it. The visuals, the creepy music, the deep lore, the lighting, the vibe. You're not in Kansas anymore. You're in a whole different game. Add to this the fact that everyone either speaks Russian.
Шесть. What is wrong? Where is Dr. Sigurov?
No doctor. Only darkness.
Or English in Russian accents, and you've got an amazing side mission that has its own identity. What follows is such a memorable mission, especially when you get out of the bunker for the first time and get back to the lush green open world that you're so used to, where you were the apex predator for hours up to this point. But everything looks different. You suddenly feel small, and the world is menacing. I'm not going to get too much into what happens next because I've already spoiled enough, but I felt like that intro really set the scene of what to expect. Anyone who's played it will tell you that this was their favorite memory from playing all of Far Cry 6. It's such a little gem found in the most unexpected place. This side content being so good is as unexpected as finding a Russian bunker in Latin America with a portal to the Upside Down. It's a mission with an interesting atmosphere. It takes risks, and for a brief moment, Far Cry 6 becomes a great game. And it does this all by achieving something so simple. Become less like Far Cry 6. This is how you do it. You can add more side content and get it to 80 hours. As gamers, all we ask is to just keep it interesting. There's also a Rambo side mission too, but it's not as good, even though you get the infamous bow. So there you have it. I said something good about Ubisoft. Praising a AAA game on this channel is quite unexpected. Almost as unexpected as this. Are you tired of the DualSense slipping in your sweaty gorilla hands? Slip no more. Now you can wrap it in something that makes it stay put and it looks cooler. The nice guys from PlayVital sent me some products to review. So I'm going to show you quickly how to put it all together. First, you peel off the sticker for the D-pad. Apply, then it's the sticker for the buttons. Now it's time for the protective silicone case. Remember all the Wiimotes that had this? Why did we stop at the Wii? These thumb grips are optional, but we're going to put them on for the complete look. The last piece of the puzzle is the touchpad sticker. And there you have it, a brand new controller, fully functional and a sleek design. I've been playing with this the past few days, and I'm actually loving how it feels in my hands. I got the Rune design in blue, but you can get it in black or white, or purple. If you want to go the extra mile and complete the look, check out this RGB USB cable. It's a really strong braided cable that not only makes your setup look sleek and modern, but it's also been helping me so much with plugging things in at night, especially the HDMI. This is just one of the many designs they have on their site. Use my link below in the description, and when it asks for a discount code, use ShortKings to get an extra 15% off. Ghostwire Tokyo. Ghostwire Tokyo is one of those games that I was hyped for. The visuals were amazing. It had a cool trailer and a great premise. I was ready to go back into Tokyo after playing so many Yakuza games, and that game engine made the city look amazing. But when I finally got to the actual gameplay, aside from the cool hand gestures, it was very mid. Another open world filled with fetch quests. It's not that it's bad or anything, just my expectations weren't met. The trailer made it look like this unique Japanese mythology horror open world game, and I was all for it. But the more you played it, the more it was apparent that this is just an open world action game where you're clearing fog off a map and doing the same repetitive side quest over and over for NPCs you don't care about. Don't get me wrong, it's super stylish with its finger waving combat, but the novelty of that wears off within the first hour. You've got this great premise, great visuals, great recently abandoned Tokyo setting, but most of the missions felt more like errands rather than encounters with the supernatural unknown. That said, there was one mission in here that delivered on the promise that the game made in my head. It showed me exactly what this game could have been. This mission completely stole the show, and it was optional. In fact, I didn't even play this mission until I was done the main game. I came back to it later. I was so over the boring chore fest that I made the mistake of skipping most of the side content. This mission creeps you out and leaves you vulnerable. Ghostwire Tokyo finally had ghosts instead of the thing that gamers truly fear, Ubisoft. Of course, the mission I'm talking about is the school mission. If you played it, you know. And before I get into it, there is going to be spoilers. So if you want to experience this for yourself for the first time, skip this entire chapter. All right, you've been warned. Let's get started. The mission starts off pretty simple. You talk to a spirit and he tells you about these kids in middle school that were part of a paranormal club. Is that a thing in middle school? So you're off to find this school and investigate what exactly happened. It seems like just another fetch quest at first, but as soon as you enter the school, the mood shifts. Something is eerie and a little bit off. You can't quite put your finger on it. It's quiet, a little too quiet. Slowly, the atmosphere and the genre goes into full J-horror. You walk into a hallway, find the classroom, you start investigating and reading documents, and you start to notice things are moving. A chalk starts writing on the blackboard. A door slams. Okay, that was weird, but I've been fighting off demons all game, so I'm prepared. You go down the hallway and you swear you saw a shadowy figure there. Did you? Was that just my eyes? Did I see that? Let's record that and play it back. You go into another room and it's dark as heck. Good, you brought your flashlight. You turn on your flashlight and these weird shadowy figures start showing up, but not to fight you, but to help you. It's such a cool effect not seen anywhere else in this game. I haven't seen it in any other game. Kind of reminded me of the movie Ghost. Get off my train! When the shadows steal the bad guy. So creepy. You go explore throughout the school and you keep seeing these helpful shadowy students. It's off-putting a little because they're meant to be seen from a specific angle ideally, so if you got the angle a bit off, it's jarring. It just comes into view and it shakes you up a bit. You finally see something familiar in the game. You run into some supernatural corruption. Oh yeah, we can use our powers to purge it. We're not helpless. We got powers. I forgot all about that. This is more of the aesthetics of the game that you're used to. but you've been so invested in this horror aspect of the school that you forgot that you had powers. Okay, cool. Getting some confidence back. You go back into the next room and open the door, and lightning strikes. And bam, in front of you stands a biology mannequin. Ooh, scary. Okay, that's a dumb build-up. Wait, was that there? You check it out from different angles and it seems fine. So you turn your back and move on, off to read more notes. If you got headphones on, you hear this clattering and the weird noise behind you. So you turn around and what the Okay, this guy definitely wasn't here before. Is he following me? Oh my god. It only moves when I look away. Oh, it's basically Boo from the Super Mario Brothers. This becomes a fun game of let's see how the physics work. Look away, look back. Look away, look back. So I start moving back. This thing follows you everywhere. You use your powers, and he smashes into pieces. You move along, but you can still hear him chasing you. Now, up to this point, this mission was all about looking down and reading things. But now with this guy following you everywhere you go, every time you look down, you hear footsteps. It makes you very uncomfortable. And then suddenly, the shadows. You realize that this mannequin is invincible. You can't use your powers. You can't make him go away. Just turn your head and he appears. Say his name and he appears. I believe in Johandre. You play the rest of the level always walking backwards and watching the entrance from whence you came. It's such a cool game mechanic and it's so old too, like in the original Mario, but you barely see this get used anywhere. It's so simple. Look away, something happens. Look back, everything seems normal. The rest of the level is pretty creepy and you'll be on edge the entire time. It almost turns into an Evil Within type psychological horror where you start to question what is real and what's not. I'm kind of glad they introduced the mannequin in the very beginning because it sets the mood for the rest of the quest and it puts your guard up so you question everything from then on. I won't say what happens next because I want to leave some surprises still if you haven't played it yet, but wow, such a cool moment. After you finish this quest, you go back to the open world boring chore fest, and you realize how special that mission was that you just finished. It's the one time Ghostwire Tokyo fully embraces horror. No open world busy work or chore fest, no cluttered HUD, no spirits asking you to fetch their dog, just you, this twisted school, and an overwhelming sense that something is very wrong. That school mission sticks with you, even when you go back to cleansing shrines and rescuing cats and absorbing spirits with your magic vacuum hands. You always think about the school mission, especially that mannequin. It's genuinely haunting, like it came from a different, better version of Ghostwire Tokyo that fully leaned into the horror instead of just flirting with it. It's pretty funny to say that a game full of Japanese demons like yokai and cursed spirits, the scariest thing in the entire game was a high school biology mannequin. But that's what makes it so good. It was one of the most memorable moments in gaming I've had in years. And it was tucked into a DLC side mission that I completely missed and ignored. So in the case of Ghostwire Tokyo, this side mission definitely stole the show. Night in the Woods. Okay, so I may have a little bias against big open world games, so let's switch things up a bit and talk about not only a short game, but a very well received short game. Night in the Woods is a game that's not everyone's cup of tea. You look it up, the art looks cool, the trailer looks promising. You look up the rating and it has a ridiculous 88 on Metacritic. 88? What? This can't be that great. The user score is only 7.7. There's something going on here. Out of all the short games I've played, the one I felt doesn't deserve to be that high is this one. Sure, like I said, it's not everyone's cup of tea because it's just a walking and talking sim. But other games did it well, like Edith Finch. And there's at least actual gameplay. I mean, this does have more gameplay than games like Coffee Talk, so let's give it credit. But still, you find the gameplay in the weirdest places. Let's talk about the main game. Night in the Woods is all about the vibe. You either relate with the character and get invested in the story, or you start to wonder if something is actually going to happen soon. It's a lot of talking and aimless walking. The game's strength lies in the writing and setting the mood. That's where all the devs put their attention, more so than any traditional gameplay loop. It's a coming-of-age story about a girl who quit university for a mysterious reason and has to come back to her small town as a dropout. All the locals thought you had so much potential, and most old friends thought you were too good for them. They had to do some fast growing up while you were out partying and studying. So there's a lot of guilt and awkward interactions as you try to heal strained relationships you had with your former friends. Now this all sounds good and nice for a movie, but remember, this is a game. Where is the gameplay? Well, the good news is your old band is willing to take you back. so it becomes a Guitar Hero rhythm game. The songs will get stuck in your head, probably the highlight of the game. But that's not the game we're talking about. At the end of each night, you go back to your house and go back to your bedroom to sleep. But before you go to sleep, you can browse on your laptop. You can chat with your friends and make plans there for the next day. But on the desktop, there is a tiny little icon that you can't help but click on it if you're curious enough. Hidden deep inside this sleepy coming-of-age talking sim, there is a roguelike dungeon crawler that's more game than anything you'll actually play in the main story. I understand this is more of a mini-game rather than a side mission that stole the show, but it's very worth mentioning. The game is called Demon Tower, and it's not just a quick fun mini-game you play for a minute. It's a full-on retro-style top-down action game with multiple levels, enemies, health management, dodge mechanics, and even boss fights. Holy cow, this is an actual game. It seems like such a throwaway gag at first, but once you launch it, Night in the Woods gets paused. It takes a backseat because now you're fully invested in something you've been longing for, an addictive gameplay loop. The moment you start swinging your sword and slaying bad guys, you realize, wait, this actually feels pretty good. The enemy patterns, the level design that rewards exploration and careful timing. Each stage ramps up the difficulty, introducing new enemy types and even culminating in boss fights that require strategy to beat. It's a combination of Binding of Isaac meets the visual style of Hyper Light Drifter. This is a pretty great game, and it is buried deep inside the desktop of a laptop in a bedroom of a girl that's inside a sleepy visual novel about coming home from college. The best part is, this amazing game is entirely optional. You can beat all of Night in the Woods without ever clicking on it once. For those who were curious and clicked on it and gave it a try, it's one of the most surprising side activities in any game I've played. You get ready for bed at the end of the night and expect more chats with your friend and make plans for the next day. And the next thing you know, you're staying up real late, slashing monsters, dodging fireballs, carefully managing your health, and learning enemy patterns. It's such a weird little nugget that rewards the curious. This could have easily been its own indie game. It even has a secret ending. It took some people 8 hours to beat. That's even longer than Night in the Woods itself. I can totally see this being sold on Steam as a standalone indie title. Just skip all the boring walking and talking. For a game that's so seemingly aimless, Demon Tower has the direction, stakes, gameplay loop, and fun that the main game was missing. The contrast in this game existing within Night in the Woods is what makes it so mind-blowing. It's one of those moments where the side content steals the spotlight. Not because it's modern or silly or funny or flashier, but because it's more focused. It's more game. Period. Okay, I realized that the last one was a bit cheating because it wasn't really a side mission, but a mini-game. A little technicality. So now that we've crossed into that territory, we have to talk about the king of blending mini-games into the story. So this next clip's going to be a bit longer to demonstrate how chaotic this game moves from one genre to the next and then to the next.
しばらく寝てろ。
桐生さん、会いたかったです。これからどこ行きます？カラオケ？いいじゃないですか。ほな行きましょう。
いらっしゃいませ。何名様でしょうか？
2人だ。
あ、うちこの曲好きなんですよ。桐生さんに聴いてほしいな。
Yakuza. Okay, let's just back up a second. We went from a street brawl, killed a guy, then the frightened onlooker wanted to go on a date, went to karaoke, clapped along to her singing, then next thing we know, we were in a music video together. I warned you it was going to be chaotic, especially if you've never experienced these games. Now, it's hard to choose which one because there are so many good titles, but I want to be clear that mentioning Yakuza is kind of cheating because all the games mentioned so far were mid, and the side content truly stole the show. It overshadowed the main game. Yakuza, on the other hand, they're all amazing games. You can ignore all the side content and still have an amazing, dramatic and emotional story better than most Netflix series, maybe longer too if you add up all the cutscenes, with amazing combat and game mechanics and an addictive gameplay loop. But Yakuza stands out amongst all titles because it does something special. It makes the side content extremely contrasting, and yet somehow it works. The most dramatic cutscenes, twists and turns, but somehow miraculously balanced with the silliest and strangest things you've ever seen in a video game in the side content. And this is what makes these games qualify for this video. If you're going to try to convince your friend to play Yakuza, you're not going to talk about the epic story or the fluid combat. You're going to be mentioning the silly stuff, the topics the other games don't dare touch. One moment you're chasing a man who steals women's panties, the next moment you're helping a dominatrix improve her customer service skills, and the next thing you know, you're helping little kids with something so cute and innocent. Yes, there's kids in this game too, and they're savage sometimes. It's charming, ridiculous, and unforgettable. It will make you laugh so much. Now, there are a lot of memorable side missions that will stick with you, but I can't say that they're better than the main game. It's just really memorable and fun. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're talking about games within a game. Now, in big open world games like this, mini games usually exist. It's the norm. From poker in Red Dead, Gwent in Witcher, golf and tennis in GTA, and these games have that too. They're 100-hour open world games after all. You've got bowling, golf, mahjong, poker, blackjack, karaoke, billiards, darts, dancing, fishing, batting cages, kart racing, and even underground fight arenas, whether you yourself are doing the fighting or betting on girls in bikinis to do the fighting. And on top of all of that, because this is a Sega game based in Japan, there's actual Sega arcades you can walk into. You walk up to the machine, you put your coin in, and you can play old school games in their entirety. Super old games from Sega like Hang On, Super Monkey Ball, Fantasy Zone, Outrun, Space Harrier, and more modern games like Virtua Fighter 2 and 5. The whole game, you can play the whole game. You just walk into the arcade and play that entire game from start to finish. It's like an emulator that exists within the game. But that's not what I'm talking about here either. That's just open world fun distractions, but to the extreme. The side activities I really want to talk about are the business simulators. It's hard to focus on one, so let's just start with the first, Cabaret Club. This one's in Yakuza 0 and Kiwami 2, which is the remake of Yakuza 2. In this game, you manage a hostess club by scouting, training, and assigning hostesses to clients. In the open world game, you'll run into ladies through side missions where you help them out. And then you'll be like, hey, this kid's got some talent. You should come work for me. So you hire them. Each night you clock them in and it becomes a real-time minigame where you pick what hostess would go best with what customer, give them free drinks, kick people out, and make bank. You also get to have one-on-one time with the ladies and train them. You can even take them out to karaoke to lift their spirits and bond with them more. Each girl usually has her own problems to deal with, which usually turn into an entire side mission with a narrative of its own. And after you've beat up the guy that's been hassling her, her stats will increase and she'll do better at her job and make you more money. It's a really weird minigame, but it's highly addictive. As the club grows, other clubs will feel threatened. It's a management RPG with unique characters, meaningful progression, and even boss battles in the form of rival clubs. Also in the Yakuza 0, there is another 8-hour business sim. It's called Real Estate Royale, where you buy properties, assign managers, security, and collect passive income. Again, as you grow, other businesses feel threatened and you have to challenge and fight them and defeat them. Sometimes even unlocking a new fighting style. And they did it again in Like a Dragon, which was a turn-based RPG with a fresh protagonist. You're selling these snacks and grow your company, you hire staff, manage product quality, set prices, and expand and buy others out as you grow. There's even shareholder meetings, which are like turn-based mini boss battles where you have to defend your company's honor and reputation. Beating this one unlocks a new character that you can add to your party who had my favorite AoE attack. She's an office girl, so all her attacks were office supplies related. So thumbtacks for everyone. The only thing I don't like about this one is it seems non-canon. Ichiban becomes the face of the #1 company in Japan. You have billions of yen in your pocket. You are on every advertisement. Your face is everywhere. Yet, when you go back to the open world game, you're literally hanging out with the homeless, no one knows who you are, and you're looking for change that was dropped under vending machines. All these games were highly addictive. They're fully fleshed out games hidden inside a much bigger game. Most open world studios add mini games as a side dish, but here in Yakuza, it serves you a second main course. They are so deep and worth your time. Like I said, if you haven't played these games, I feel bad for you. Not because you're missing out, but once you finally give them a chance, you'll realize you have to dedicate an entire year of your life to catch up to, I don't know how many there are, 10 titles now? I didn't even touch the Judgment series. So even though the side content in Yakuza doesn't quite steal the show because the main offering is so powerful, it's very worth mentioning here just because of how much effort was put into these things. So what did we learn today, Short Kings? Sometimes there's great short games and much longer games. Sometimes the best parts of a game aren't even the main game's offering. They're the weird little experiments. It feels like someone on the dev team was genuinely having fun, taking a risk and letting their freak flag fly, not being tied down to a tone. The main campaign is usually a story that has to stay consistent, but the freedom and creativity is allowed to thrive in the side content. That's where the devs get to break away from the formula. If it doesn't work, whatever, it can be ignored. And if it does, it is memorable and it will get lots of memes. You can totally go full horror in an action game, drop an RPG business sim in a beat 'em up, or toss in a retro crawler into a walking sim about seasonal depression. More often than not, these risks end up being the most memorable. They stick with you much longer than the main plot, and they truly steal the show. Now, I know this is a topic I have only scratched the surface of. There's tons of old games I could have mentioned here. I mean, so many people who haven't even beaten or remember what the main mission in Skyrim was. The side content there was so much stronger that many ignored the main quest. What other games did I miss? I tried to only focus on games that were recently on PS Plus Extra, but I know I missed a lot. What other side content stole the show? What is the most memorable side mission that you ever remember? That was arguably better than the main game. What game within a game was better than the main game? Let me know down below. I hope you enjoyed this new style of content, and I apologize about all the spoilers if you've never played some of these titles. But now you know what to expect. And again, is it really spoiling it if I'm staying away from the main story? I hope you forgive me. So thanks for watching, and until next time, be a friend, and I'll see you again.